Greetings, Iain from RTO here. Welcome to another Ladies' Day on RTO. And today we're going away from rock music and pop music. I'm going to take a look at two artists that have done well in other areas of music. And the album ranking today is of a string quartet called Bond. Nothing to do with James Bond, they just call themselves Bond. Now, their sort of music is classic, crossover and synth-pop music. And Bond have sold over 5 million albums. They're not mainstream, but they've managed to sell 5 million albums, which is pretty good. Now, Bond were formed by Mike Batt. Yes, Mike Batt of the Wombles and producer and promoter Mel Bush. They decided to put together a quartet of 4 female musicians, and they come up with this idea. Now, there's only ever been 5 people in the band. The original lineup was Tanya Davis, who plays the violin, and formerly viola, who's from Sydney in Australia. Os Consul, second violin from Cardiff, Wales. Elspeth Hansen, viola from Basildon, and Hayley Ecker from Australia. She was violin. Now, she left in 2008 to have a baby, so they brought in Gaye Westerhoff, who plays cello, and she's from Hull. She's been around with the band a little while because she did write some of the stuff on the previous albums. So up to now, they have released 4 albums, and they all are very good. If you like a little bit of something a little bit different, if you like a little bit of classical music done a bit poppy, if you remember the Hooks on Classics they did in the 80s, this is very similar in places. So let's have a look at these 4 albums then. So coming in at number 4, we have the 3rd album. It's called Classified, and it was released in 2004. So you've got Tanya Davis, El Consul, Elspeth Hansen and Hayley Ecker. First track on here is called Explosive. Really good song. When you think of a string quartet, you think of Afternoon Teas. Nah, this is rock. This is rock meets classical. It's pretty good. I like that track. Then we get a track called Samba. Now, Samba is a mixture of classical meets Latino, and it works really well. You've got that Latino shuffle, then you've got, instead of having guitars, you get violins, and it works very well. Then we get a track called Midnight Garden. Now, I like this. This is my favourite track off this album. It's got a bit of a poppy element to it, but the classical side of it is really good. Then we get a track called Fly, Robin Fly. It's got this sort of groovy bass sound to it. It's got a bit of disco with violins. It's okay. Scorchio, not as in the first show Scorchio, but a track called Scorchio, but it looks like Scorchio. Very gentle. It's got that traditional sound of a string quartet. Really nice. Then we get Lullaby. It's a very little bit poppy, but it sort of works. You know, modern lullaby with a bit of oomph in it. Hungarian. This is a track that they've got the drum programming a little bit wrong because it just doesn't fit, unfortunately. I'll Fly Away. Again, this is where they got the drum machine all out of kilter, and you know, they were sort of playing catch up to the drum machine. Didn't work. Dreamstar, they actually got the programming right on this, and it's a really nice piece of music. Highly Strung. Now, this is a very jazzed up version of the Sabre dance. Not a very good version of it, I'm afraid, but you know what I mean. It's really good. I like what they did there. Then they've done a Adagio for strings. It's a really nice interpretation. They've jazzed it up with a bit of a drum machine in there. It's not too bad. Scenariator, pretty solid sort of stuff. And Explosive, very solid, poppy, hooks on classic style thing. It's a really good album. It's got some really nice pieces on. They didn't get that drum machine right on some of the tracks, though, I'm afraid. Unfortunately, I don't know if it was an experiment, but it just didn't work. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 6.5. Coming in number 3, then we go to the 4th and most current album. It was released in 2011, and it is called A Play. So this is the first album that featured Gaye Westerhoff on the cello. So you've got Tanya Davis on the viola, Eos Kinsella on the second violin, Beth Hansen on viola, and Gaye Westerhoff on the cello. First track on this one is called Diablo. Yeah, they brought a rap artist on this, and it just didn't work. Then we got J-Ho. Now the addition of the cello on this is really, it's giving it a little bit more deeper sound. The cello is a lovely instrument, and this is giving it a little bit more oomph. There is another band that does cellos, and they're called Two Cellos. Again, a band that we will feature because they do rock. It's a really good song. Then we got Elysium. This is the best piece, and it reminds me so much of that mid-70s ELO, just before they did a New World Records. So you're on the third day. It's got that cello really is good from Gaye. It's a great track. I like that track a lot. Pump It. This is quite good. It's got that Middle Eastern Arabic sort of feel to it. It's a really good track. Quite moving as well, and atmospheric. Then we get Beetroot. Not as in the fruit, but it's got that sort of Russian feel to this one. And I think it's a great little tune, and the cello on this is definitely brilliant. It really does add to it. Last Time. Now this is, look at their version of Bittersweet Symphony. It's really good. And The Last Time. So you've got a mixture of a bit of the last Time from the Stones and the bit from the Verve, and it really works well. I like that track. Then we get Summer from Vivaldi. Brilliant version. I love the Four Seasons, and their version of Summer is superb. Then they do Winter, and it is fantastic as well. Then we got a track called Aspanadia, very quirky, great little track. West in the Night, very, very good. This could have ended up on any movie soundtrack album. It is really, really good. The Road to Samarkand. Now, it feels like, I don't know if it is in Morocco sort of thing, but it's got that Moroccan feel. Now, Moroccan music is traditionally quite interesting, and that's got that feel to it. And then there's Victory 10. Now, Victory 10 it's a song they've done on a previous album, which we'll talk about, and they've just jazzed it up. It's okay. Then they do another version of Dablio, and they put some more rap on it, and it's absolutely awful. apart from the rappy stuff, the rest of the album's pretty good. The cello has added, it's a little bit more richer now, and I think it's a good little move. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 7 out of 10. Okay, coming in at number 2, we have the debut album, and it's called Born. So it's Tanya, Eos, Elspeth and Hayley on this one. Now this is a word I don't know how to pronounce. It's Quionte. That's it. It's the one that's QUX. It's a really good. This is a sort of a real proper crossover. You've got the traditional sort of string quartet sound with a little bit of modern beat to it. Really good. Then they've got Winter, nothing to do with the Four Seasons. There's a bit of bass in here. It doesn't just sound quite right. Then we got Victory. As I said, Victory 10 was on the last album. This is from the first album. It's quite a fun track, very traditional sort of classic music. I think this is a little bit better than the remix. They sort of jazzed it up. This is the best version. Oceanic, I quite like this. It's a very nice gentle feel, and you feel like that you are at sea. Kismet, now this is actually written by Gaye Westerhoff. As I said, she joined the band after Hayley left to have a baby, but she's sort of been involved with the band, or that she's done some writing for them, so she wasn't a new thing that came in. But this is a very good track that she wrote. It's got a really good deep sound in it. I love the viola deep plucking. How that you pluck at the strings. It's really good, excellent track. Karabushka, which is a traditional song. I think it's a Russian song, and it does sound like, well, I don't know if it's a Russian, but I'll tell you what it sounds like. It sounds like it's, in the 30s they have these afternoon teas and dancing. This is the sort of music you'd listen to when you're eating your tea. If you've watched Poirot and things like that, them period dramas from the 30s, and they're all having afternoon tea, you get a quartet in there. Really good. Some of those also you'd find in Jeeves and Wooster, that sort of era. It's really good. I like that. Then we get Alexander the Great. There's a little bit of rapping in here, which I don't think works. Duel, really nice arrangement. Even the drum machine sounds right on this. They really hit the nail on the head with that one. Belladonna, a piece written by the band, very big piece of gentle music, and it's well arranged. The violins sound really good on there. Then they do the 1812, the ending bit. Just sounds like it comes off Hooks in Classics. It's alright. Then we get Him. I love this. It's my favourite track on this album. It's a traditional version as well. It's they've not done anything poppy to it. They've just kept it very nice. Then the Victory again. This is the Mike Batt mix. He's added a bit of guitar in here. It's worked pretty well with the band, and I quite like that version. This is another entertaining album full of modern and traditional music. Some works again, and some didn't. But on the whole, it's a really enjoyable album, and it sold very well for them. And I'll give this one an RTO ranking of 7.2. So coming in at number 1, this is an album that sort of, it's the one you go for. It's the second album, and it came out in 2002, and it's Shine. So it's Tanya, Eos, Elspeth and Hayley. First track is called Allegretto. Great interpretation of this piece of music. I love this anyway. They really give it a bit of modern feel to it. Absolutely fantastic. Then we get the title track, Shine. It's a very catchy tune. It's got a bit of that Latino feel as well, and it's really good. Fugo, Oh dear, this is one of them. There's one thing I don't like about violins, and that's that high pitched screech. There's a bit on that there, so it sounds like a scat cat screaming. But it's just a personal thing. I just don't like screechy violins. Strange Paradise, really good violin playing on this. This is the high pitch they got right, and it sounds really good. Speed. This is really heavy. You know, it's got a fanatic playing on it. It's great stuff. Big Love Adagio, really good combo of the modern sort of drum machine and the strings all work well on that. I like that. Then they tackle a Led Zeppelin track, and they do Kashmir, and it's a brilliant version. It's my favourite track on here. They really do this justice. This is fantastic. Gypsy Rhapsody. It's got that real Romany gypsy feel to it. Really well put together. Libertango. An interesting drum and bass on this, but it actually works. I was quite impressed with that. Then we get Sahara. Feels like you are going across the Sahara. I love the drums in. There's some Arabic drums. Really strong track. Then we get Ride. It's the worst track on the album. It's got a few horrible lyrics in it, and it's really naff. Space. Love this. Love the eeriness of it. Feels like you are in space. Then we get Odyssey. One of the sounds very Celtic. Got a Celtic feel, and it's really good. And then Bond on Bond. So yes, they do the Bond theme, but unfortunately, it didn't really go for me. They just sort of changed it all around, and it just didn't sound right. This album has got some really strong tracks on it, a couple of boo-boos, but on the whole, again, it's a good album. They've not made a stinker album at all. You know, that one or two tracks haven't worked on any of the albums, but I've got a lot of respect for this band, so I'm going to give it an RTO ranking of 7.5. So there we go, a band that are not a rock band but have sold 5 million albums or more. They're just a bit interesting, and I do like a bit of classical music and modern versions of it. And these 4 girls, or the 5 girls that have been in this band, are great musicians. And that's a little bit different when you want something different to listen to. Okay, that's all for this one. We've got another good artist for retro ranking today. We're going to have a look. I'm going to pick my favourite songs by Irish singer, arranger, musician Enya, the chill out, the queen of the chill out music, as I call her. So looking forward to that one. So bye for now.